In the beautiful city of Izmir, where the sea whispers to the shore, a bright girl named Latif was born into a house full of books and music. She was not like other girls of her time. Her mind was a garden where ideas grew as tall as the palm trees in her family's courtyard. She studied languages and law, dreaming of a world where women could stand as tall as the mountains. The world was changing, and shadows of war fell across the land. Latif traveled to Europe to study, but her heart remained tied to her home. When she returned to Izmir, the city was at a turning point. She stood on the balcony of her family's grand mansion, looking out at the harbor, waiting for the dawn of a new era. One day, the hero of the nation, Mustafa Kemal, arrived at her doorstep. He needed a place to stay while he planned the future of the country. Latif welcomed him not just as a guest, but as an equal. They spent long nights talking about freedom, democracy, and the dreams they shared for their people. Their connection grew into a flame that could not be ignored. In a time when weddings were hidden behind old traditions, they chose a different path. They were married in a simple ceremony in 1923. Latif did not wear a veil that hid her face. She stood beside her husband, showing the world that the new Turkey would be a place of partnership. As the First Lady of the young republic, Latif was a whirlwind of energy. She traveled across the Anatolian plains with Mustafa Kemal, visiting villages and cities. She was the face of the modern Turkish woman, educated, brave, and eloquent. Everywhere they went, people looked at her and saw a glimpse of the future. Latif believed that a nation could only rise if its women were educated. She visited schools and spoke to young girls, encouraging them to pick up pens and books. "The future is in your hands," she would tell them. She wanted every girl to have the same chance to learn and lead that she had been given. But being two strong pillars in a changing world was not easy. Latif and Mustafa Kemal were both fiercely independent and had different ideas about the paths they should take. The pressures of leading a new nation and their own strong wills began to pull them in different directions. In 1925, they decided to part ways. It was a quiet end to a grand romance. Latif returned to a private life, moving away from the bright lights of politics. She took her memories and her books with her, choosing a life of dignity and silence, never speaking ill of the man she had once called her partner. For many years, Latif lived away from the public eye. She watched from afar as the seeds she and Mustafa Kemal had planted grew into a great republic. She remained a woman of great mystery, keeping her journals and her thoughts private, a silent witness to the history she had helped to write. Today, we remember Latif Khanim not just as the wife of a great leader, but as a pioneer. She was a woman who broke barriers and showed that intelligence and courage are the truest ornaments. Her story lives on in every girl who goes to school and every woman who speaks her mind.